Habari za mchana. Good afternoon. As we come to the conclusion of today's partnership dialogue, I would like to express my sincere gratitude to all of you for your active participation and invaluable contributions. It has been a privilege to engage in such meaningful discussions, and I'm confident that the outcomes of this dialogue will pave the way for an even stronger and more productive partnership between the United Republic of Tanzania and the European Union. In particular, I would like to thank my co-chair, Ambassador Rita, for steering this meeting in an efficiently and substantive manner. I also extend my heartfelt thanks to Ambassador Christine for leading the EU ambassadors and for her dedication and commitment to ensuring the success of this dialogue. I also wish to thank all other ambassadors, representatives, and delegates from the European Union and its member states for constructive participation. Last but not least, I appreciate Tanzanian delegation to the dialogue, in particular, coordinators from my ministry led by Ambassador Samuel Shulkindo, Permanent Secretary of the Ministry of Foreign Affairs, and the Director for Europe and America, Ambassador Swaiba, and of course, our Ambassador Nyamanga from Brussels, and glad to be here with the Ambassador Mwamweta from Germany. Your coordination, presence, and input have been instrumental in enriching our discussion and reinforcing our shared objectives. Looking ahead, Tanzania remains committed.
Dear Honorable Minister, I'm very pleased to stand here today alongside you, Honorable Deputy Minister of Foreign Affairs of Tanzania, Kozatu Chumi, to address the outcomes of the Tanzania-European Union Partnership Dialogue. I would like to express my sincere appreciation to the government of Tanzania for their hospitality and engagement in this dialogue. The European Union highly values this partnership with Tanzania. It is also an occasion for me to congratulate the Tanzanian government and its citizens on the 63rd anniversary of its independence that was celebrated yesterday. This meeting marked an important milestone in our relations as we explored ways to deepen our cooperation and to address common challenges. We believe that our cooperation has the potential to bring further mutual benefits, and we are committed to working together to achieve this goal. We are committed to strengthening our ties in various areas, from political to economic cooperation, from security to foreign affairs. The strong presence of the EU and its member states in DAR today reflects the importance we attach to our relations. We came from EU headquarters, from Brussels. 14 EU member states ambassadors are present here today, both resident and non-resident, and the European Investment Bank also joined these talks today. And so this is all the testimony of the relevance of this partnership. The relevance of this partnership is always also expressed by the fact that we are significant investors in Tanzania in sectors such as energy, tourism, agriculture, infrastructure. Last year, to give you an example, EU citizens constituted the lion's share of tourists visiting the country. In 2023, of the 400,000 tourists visiting Zanzibar, 70% were coming from the European Union. The EU and its member states are also the largest private sector investors in Zanzibar. Over the last 10 years, the EU has thus invested an estimated 3 billion euros in Tanzania, generating significant jobs and tax revenue. Through budget support, the EU works with Tanzania to deliver on its national priorities. Following the midterm review of the EU's Neighbourhood Development and International Cooperation Instrument, the United Republic of Tanzania welcomed the EU's commitment of 726 million euros for the period 2021-2027, complemented by EU's member states' bilateral support of approximately 1.2 billion euros for 21-24. For the period 24-27, Tanzania's national funding, so the support at bilateral level to Tanzania, will be supplemented by regional funds, opening up opportunities for significant additional investments. Tanzania is, as we have seen today, the largest recipient of EIB, of the European Investment Bank support in sub-Saharan Africa. Our discussions today were constructive and open, and they reflected the strong foundation of our partnership. We acknowledged progress made in our cooperation, and we identified areas where we can work together more effectively. And I'm pleased to say that we have made significant headway in several areas. Let me just give a few examples. On our political relations, today, the 10th of December, we celebrate the Human Rights Day, and so we had a lively exchange on good governance and democracy in Tanzania, including also on recent elections. And we discussed among us allegations of irregularities, and we have shared concerns regarding latest developments and reported incidents. But we took note of the different contributions that were given by our counterparts in this regard, and we listened carefully to their remarks and to their contributions, and welcomed the commitment of the government to look at the lessons learned to address the shortcomings and to engage with all stakeholders in the near future. The EU hopes that the commitments, and we heard the co-chair say it clearly today, that in the lead up to the general elections next year and the elections themselves, Tanzania will be working towards inclusive, transparent and credible elections. A level playing field for all parties will be important. We welcome that civil society and regional actors will be accredited as observers for the general elections. It's also a matter that we discussed today. Both Tanzania and the European Union underline their commitment to multilateralism and a rules-based international order underpinned by international law and the UN Charter. The EU also welcomed the strong condemnation of the use of violence and the commitment to investigate all incidents seriously. In addition, we have decided, and together, that we will continue our discussions in what regards issues referring to human rights and governance, and the EU Special Representative for Human Rights will work on a visit to Tanzania early next year. On economic cooperation and sustainable growth, we had also interesting discussions. We stressed our mutual interest in stepping up economic trade and investment relations and welcomed Tanzania's willingness to address issues related to business and investment climate. On its side, the European Union is committed to support Tanzania and to work at technical level in addressing trade impediment when dealing with the big market of the European Union, as we have been working so far. We also welcomed Tanzania's acknowledgement of Global Gateway as a game changer, and we committed to continue to work together on its implementation. On this security, we also discussed matters of mutual interest, and we have discussed how to better work together in this area. The European Union is already active in the region in areas of maritime security, fighting against organized crime, improving anti-money laundering procedures. We hope to start soon supporting the National Counterterrorism Center. If Tanzania is interested, and we started discussions today, or we continued discussions today, EU can further support Tanzania on maritime security, on fight against violent extremism and organized crime, on fight against drugs and trafficking. We have also decided that we will see ways of how to pursue closer dialogues on security issues, which will help us identify common priority areas and strengthen our partnership in this field. We also exchanged on global and regional development. We exchanged on geopolitical matters, and we have made clear our willingness to cooperate closer together in multilateral settings. The EU had the opportunity to express its unwavering support for international law principles, in particular in the context of Russia's war of aggression against Ukraine. We recognized Tanzania's important role to maintain peace and security in the region and informed about the EU Special Representative for the Great Lakes interest in visiting Tanzania shortly. Finally, we discussed our cooperation in the area of regional integration, particularly in the context of East African Community. The EU is a strong supporter of regional integration in Africa. It has been a strong supporter also of SADC, as we believe it is essential for promoting economic development and stability. The EU also took note of Tanzania's intention to request support through the European Peace Facility. In conclusion, our partnership dialogue has been a success, and we have made significant progress in several key areas. We are committed to strengthening our cooperation with Tanzania, as we believe that it can make a real difference in the lives of Tanzanians and Europeans. Asante sana.